Hi guys, this is Andy from Nismo Tech UK. In partnership with Unique PCs, we're having a look at the Strike X LCD touchscreen fan controller from Aerocool. Okay, so starting with the front of the box, you can see it's extremely colourful and bright. We've got the Aerocool logo hidden away at the top here, along with the Strike X logo. The image here shows the red faceplate, but we also have a black faceplate included, so you're able to switch between them, which is quite a nice design. Looking down here, we've got a slick X themed design, innovative touch LCD technology. We can control 5 sets of temperatures and fan speeds. You can turn the actual unit off, the actual display off, switch between Celsius and Fahrenheit, overheating alarm, fan working display, and a lock function to prevent careless missed touch. And it also features 2 USB 2.0, a microphone and headphone jack as well. Moving on to this side of the box, we have got a little bit of information into foreign languages, and again on that side. But on the back we have got a little bit more information about what you will find on the display. So we have got the channel indicators up at the top here. We have the Celsius and Fahrenheit switch, a lock switch, the increase and decrease buttons, fan speed and the temperature and the alarm temperature, so it will switch between them, the interchangeable faceplate, USB 2.0, you hold that button in there by the looks of it to switch the display on and off, and a couple of images of what it will look like in the red and the black. So that's about it really for the box. So let's have a look inside and see what we get. Just move that to one side. And stick that out the back there. Okay, so we have got a user guide, so obviously it's a very good idea to read this. Very detailed, you've got a lot of pictures here, which is good to see. So it's going to tell you exactly how to set the actual controller up with the alarms, etc., and where to plug in all the cables. So make sure you have a good read of that. Now the box itself, as you can see, is extremely... oh, there we go. That's the red faceplate, so we'll have a look at that in a moment. By the looks of it, behind this plastic protection, we have got the unit installed with the black faceplate, so let me just move that to one side. And as you can see, we have the black faceplate. Oh, look at that in a moment. We've got a whole host of cables here. So this is the actual display, as you can see. The unit's obviously a double DIN unit, so it's going to take up 2 drive bays, 2 5¼ inch drive bays. It looks to be reasonably well built. There's not much movement at all in the actual design and chassis. There's no sort of bottom to it, and obviously you've got the cutout here if you do have ridges within your case, and obviously the screws to install. I'm not quite sure whether this would work with a toolless installation though. Moving on to the back. Very briefly, we'll cover this in a moment. As you can see, we've got a whole host of cables. So I'm just going to pop this down and we can have a closer look to see what we have. Okay, so now moving on to the back of the panel, just want to show you down at the bottom here. To the right hand side we have got your USB port. There is a cable that is provided here, so you can connect that straight into there and then straight into your motherboard as a USB header. Down on this side we have got the audio connector, and again there is a cable connected or supplied. You put the one that says up that way into the actual controller, and then we have a HD audio and also a AC97 jack on there as well. Just to cover the other cables actually as well, we do have a whole host of spare connectors and cables. We appear to have 2 different cables spare for the fan controller, and I assume 2 sensors, as well as obviously the sticky pads on the inside for connecting that up to the areas that you wish to connect them, as well as a bag of screws. Okay, so as you can see, the cables already come pre-installed for the sensors and also the fan cables. As you can see, there's a whole host of them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels. The sensors, as you can see, we've got a black and red sort of ribbon on here, which then separates, and obviously if you want to put these in different locations, you literally just peel them apart and stick them in. They are all labelled and obviously come protected here, so you just effectively stick that down to wherever that you may be want to control that. We also have the power 4-pin Molex pass-through and the fan connectors here. Obviously it's a 3-pin power connector for the fans, although by the looks of it, fan 1 is also a 4-pin connector, so you've got a bit of a mixture. Okay, so onto the front panel, and I want to show you how to basically remove the black frame and install the red frame that we have here. One thing that I would recommend, because obviously you've not really got anywhere to sort of grip, and you've got to be careful that you don't nudge or dislodge any of the actual components on the back, is to actually do this outside of the actual case. Now to do this you need to turn the unit upside down, so it's like that, and you'll see that we have got a couple of sort of plastic sort of tabs here. Put your thumb there, remove that side, and again if I can do it just on that side, and then essentially, if I can do it, I always hate doing these things, it just basically pulls off like that. Okay, so again, just turn that around. Installation, I would recommend making sure that I got it the right way up would help. Start at the bottom, push it in so it's nice and firm, and then again up at the top, and it's a lot easier to actually install than it is to take off. But like I said, you have really got to be careful that you don't nudge any of the actual unit or capacitors or whatever, heatsink things on the back, so that you're not actually damaging it. So let's connect this up to the case and have a look and see what it's like in operation. Okay, so now you can see we have the Striker X control panel connected up to a case and a power supply. At the moment we've got a fan connected to channel number 3, the rest of them are obviously blinking because there's no fan connected. We can see the various different temperatures, fan 1, fan 2, fan 3, all the way up to fan 5. Fan 1 starts in the middle, then number 2, number 3, number 4 and number 5. Now the first thing I want to show you is the fact that at the moment I can't actually connect on anything at all. The way it allows you to program the actual unit is by hitting the lock button up at the top. The white light goes out, and I think it stays out for around about 10 to 15 seconds for you to adjust, so that you don't accidentally touch anything that you shouldn't do. To turn the device off, you hold the Aerocool logo like so, and then tap it again to knock it back up. To change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit, you literally press the CF button up at the top, and as you can see, it's now changed that. Now the fan that we've got connected down here is a maximum 1500 RPM. It's a Be Quiet fan. So if I just bring that into shot a moment, we can then hopefully adjust. So in order to do that, I click on the actual RPM and I increase, and hopefully you can see the fan starting to pick up a bit more speed, going up to maximum 1500 RPM. And then obviously knocking it down to the minimum for the fan, which is 7. So you're not actually able to knock the fan completely off, which is a bit of a shame. It would be nice to completely shut the fan off if required, but you are able to set it from minimum to maximum. Okay, so now on to the alarm for the actual temperature. So again, I'm going to unlock. I'm going to press the button around the actual alarm temperature section, and I think you've got to hold it in. Yeah, you hold it in and it starts to flash. You then knock that down. Also, it's just change that to Celsius actually, because it's easier for me to look at. So I'm just going to hold that in, and you can see the temperature starting to go down. So we're going to knock that down to around about 20, I think. Oh, it's down to 25, which is the lowest it will actually go for some bizarre reason. So that's now done, and we'll press that. So the temperature now is 21. If I touch that again, the alarm temperature is at 25. So I'm now going to grab the correct sensor, which is number 3. Just bear with me. Which is that fella there. I'm just going to remove that and try and generate a bit of heat. Okay, so it does sound a little bit like an alarm clock, and obviously it will tell you then that the temperature has been reached. So it seems to be very sensitive with the actual thermal sensor, to the point where it doesn't actually stop. And to stop that, you basically just hit the button, and that will then stop that. So as you can see, also going up and down here, it shows indication that the fans are in operation. Okay, so on to my overall thoughts for the Aerocool Strike X fan controller. I like the fact that you're able to change the front fascia panel. The red itself does give it quite a good gaming look, and you're able to then tone that down to install the black fascia plate, and obviously if you want that to sort of match in with your system, it's good that you're able to change between the two colours. The fan controller itself has a great range of features, being able to obviously set the various different temperatures for the alarms individually, to control the actual speed of the units with ease. To switch between Celsius and Fahrenheit is very easy, and I also like the fact that you can control the LCD display by turning it on and off. The touch sensitivity on the panel is very good indeed. It's not too sensitive and not too unsensitive, so when you're controlling the various different fans, temperatures, etc., it does respond very well to your touch. The lock feature works well, although when setting up for multiple fans, multiple temperatures, when you're sort of having a think about what temperature you want to set your fans at, it does seem to lock quite quickly. On to a couple of negative points. When changing the actual fascia plate, it's very easy to knock the components on the PC board behind the actual controller, so it would have been nice to see some form of bottom on the actual controller just so that you can grip this in order to remove the fascia panel easily. The lines going up and down either side of the Strike X sort of middle display, in my opinion, don't really serve much of a purpose, because you're able to see the RPM going around on the actual fans when they are connected, so it's a little bit gimmicky for my liking. Even though it's good to see the USB and the microphone and headset jack, in my opinion it does actually spoil the overall look of the actual fan controller, so personally I would have actually liked to see these not included. It would have also been nice to see the fan connectors being a 4-pin connector instead of just a standard 3-pin connector. Obviously there is one fan 1 which is a 4-pin connector, but it would have been nice to see that all the way around. Obviously this fan controller is not going to appeal to everyone. It is very much aimed at the gaming market. If you have got a gaming rig and you want a touchscreen fan controller, I do recommend that this be sort of considered by yourself if you are in the market for one. So I'd like to thank Aerocool and Unique PCs for letting us review this Strike X fan controller, and we'll see you in our next video. We hoped you liked our video review. If you did, then please leave a like, as well as any comments or questions you may have down below. Full details and specifications on this item can be found at our website, nismotech.com, along with all the links for purchasing if you wish. Also on our site you'll find our latest reviews and current giveaways, plus a lot more. We look forward to seeing you in our next review.